Greetings. Welcome to another installment and also the season finale of season 6 of the Be a Man podcast. Brought to you by Anchor. Can also be heard on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, wherever you go to get your podcast, man. And also the YouTube, the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel affiliate. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my stuff on there. All right. Got all the housekeeping out of the way. Guys, today's episode, I'm going to close out the season on a very strong topic that I think a lot of guys can really gain value from and really take something away from in a positive manner, right? So today's episode is going to be a piggyback on an episode I made previously. I'll say about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. I did an episode entitled Men, You Are the CEO of Your Lives, Act Like It, right? And in that episode, man, I pretty much employed men to carry themselves as executives over their lives, right? You have to be the CEO of your life. Everything you do, everything you commit to, how you manage your day-to-day affairs and things that you got to take care of. You got to handle things in your life like a boss, right? And it was a very general episode. I went specific in certain topics and I gave a few examples, but going back and re-listening to the episode, guys, I really feel like I left some things out, and I really wasn't I didn't make things as crystal as I could have, right? So this is going to be my attempt to really break it down to where if you are a blue pill, beta male, simp who has to ask his bitch to do anything, right? You can listen to this episode and you can grow some nuts about yourself, all right? So when you are running your life like a CEO, right? You are the person responsible for everything in your life. Your spiritual state, your financial state, your fitness state, your intimacy, your sexual state, your mindset, where you live, the car you drive, how much money you make. You're responsible for every single component of you, LLC, right? And one key component, one key attribute that you have to have if you're going to be the CEO of your life is you have to have the ability to put everyone on the chopping block. And this right here has been one of the causes for a lot of men to fall short and fall flat of the man who they were supposed to be in life. A lot of men have an inability to cut bait with people and things that do not serve them and cause more harm to their bottom line than good, right? And your bottom line, what is your bottom line as it pertains to real life? We all know in business a bottom line is payroll and how much your overhead is versus how much profit you're making versus how much it costs to open up your doors and keep your lights on, all that shit, right? This isn't a business episode, but it correlates very well to the mind of business if you look at your life like a business, right? So the bottom line in your life, guys, is your mental health, your peace, your spiritual vibration, being able to deal with necessary problems but eliminate unnecessary problems. Because as a man, especially as a man who is on his purpose and you're driven and you're focused and you have goals for yourself and you carry yourself in a manner to where you're ambitious, right? There are going to be issues and problems and roadblocks that come about that are just simply part of the game, right? So there will be problems that come up, but these are necessary problems, right? You create a business model that doesn't necessarily pan out the way you expected, so you have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to connect better, and you do a relaunch, or you edit and change a few things around in your business and you go at it again. It will come at some temporary losses in the beginning, but eventually it's going to pay off, right? So You got to know how to eliminate the unnecessary problems. There are a plethora of problems that will persist in your pursuit of becoming a better you, right? That has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with going in the gym and getting shredded, right? But just day-to-day life. You cannot be hesitant of putting anyone on a chopping block, right? And let me break it down a little further, right? So, say in dating, right? You're in a relationship, you're married even, you're engaged. A lot of men are dealing with women not from a position of power. And these men who don't deal with their women from a position of power have women in their lives who they know, no matter what I do, no matter how disrespectful I get, no matter how much I disobey him, no matter how much I am combative and overly argumentative, there's no consequence to my poor action. No matter how much I go on girl, aka hoe trips with my friends and get my back blown out and come back home like everything's cool, and he blow my phone up and I just tell him I was asleep and he fall for it because he's a simp, right? I went to hang out with my male friends and but nothing happened though, right? And they fall for it. Here's the thing. When you are dealing with a woman who knows that no matter what she does, she's always going to have a spot at the company, right? She has no respect for you, bro. A woman who knows that no matter what she do, no matter how much toxic or narcissistic or poor behaviors she exudes, her man isn't going to hold her accountable and or replace her. She really don't have any respect for that guy, right? I know that, you know that, everyone knows that. No different than as a employer or as an entrepreneur, right? When you have staff or when you have employees who are not bought into the company, right? They're not tapped into the business, the brand, how we do things, how you run your company, right? And they make mistakes, right? They fuck up accounts. They burn relationships with clients that it took you years and years to cultivate, right? That person has now become too expensive for you to continue doing business with, right? The cost of doing business with this employee has now become so expensive that I have to cut bait with them in order to save my company. Because at the end of the day, my company is way more important than you. Never get it twisted, mistaken. You can mean an absolute lot to me, right? But self-preservation is always the key. Part of self-preservation is maintaining your mind, making sure you stay, that you have your mental health and peace at a good enough state to where you're able to function and be the best version of you. You can be the best version of you if you have employees who are always on social media when they're supposed to be working, and they're not helping your brand or your company or your business get to the next level. They're more of a liability than they are an asset. And when you're dealing with women who are more of a liability than they are an asset, meaning they do not abide to your bylaws, right? Any man on his purpose, any man who is on top of his shit, any man who has respect for himself, he has a list of bylaws, right? It's part of his blueprint. It's part of his organizational setting, if you will, right? And for a woman to be a long-term partner, right, within this company, she has to commit to those bylaws, right? those articles of agreement, right, that comes with dealing with you, right? So when you have a woman who don't respect you, she has no sort of healthy reverence for you, right? And she goes out and she does whatever she wants to do, how she wants to do it, as long as she wants to do it, because she knows no matter what, this nigga not gonna fire me. You know, I could come to work drunk, I could come to work hungover, smelling like weed, I could come to work late every day. I can really just not give a shit, and I know this goofy ass nigga is not gonna fire me because he's so thirsty. He's so much of a simp. He has he lacks so much spine and backbone that he will tolerate the absolute bare minimum to nothing from me, and I'm safe. When you operate from a position of power, and this ain't no game, this ain't no trying to show you how to get women or anything. This is just, it should be law with men, right? When you are operating from a position of power with women, right? And that woman knows that this man will have no issue getting rid of me if I'm out of pocket, or if I act in a way that isn't conducive to how he do business. That woman carries herself a certain way. That woman, she respects her man, right? And not on some, you know, I'll leave you if you do this or I'll do that. Nah. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about these are the rules and regulations that come with you being allowed to be a part of my life, right? And if those things are abandoned, disregarded, or disobeyed, right? In any way, shape, form, or fashion, you are now on the chopping block. And when women know they're on the chopping block with a nigga, or if a woman knows that a man has no problem dropping her ass and replacing her, those women act and carry themselves in a way to where they don't put themselves in a position to be on the chopping block as much. Now, a woman is gonna be a woman. Women are gonna try you. Women are gonna test you, right? That's female nature, bro. It don't matter how alpha you are, how beta you are, or whatever. A woman is always, in some regard, she's gonna like shit test you, right? But the guys who get like repeatedly disrespected by the women that they chose to be in their lives, these guys really don't have that bitch on the chopping block. And that woman knows, she knows that this goofball will never put me on the chopping block. My job here is safe. I don't have to be a top performing employee here. I don't have to show the gratitude and, you know, be grateful that I get to be employed at such an incredible organization as this, right? And it shows, man. It truly shows. If you show me two women, right, married, in a relationship, dating, whatever, you show me two women with two men, right, and one man does not have his lady, or is not capable of putting his lady on the chopping block, and the other guy is incredibly okay with putting his woman on the chopping block. He loves her, he adores her, he's crazy about her. But if it came down to my bottom line being harmed or affected, and you're gonna lose 10 times out of 10. And it's not even close. It's not a debate. I don't lose any, you know, I'm not gonna like lose any sleep about it. It'll hurt for like a few minutes, you know, because I do have a heart. Like, I'm not a cold ass, like, heartless motherfucker, right? But business, bottom line, ULLC is way more important than keeping around a ungrateful, unproductive employee, right? And you have to carry your life that same way. Let's go a little deeper, right? Away from like relationships. your personal circles, your inner circles, your friends, your family, people you hang around when you're not doing anything productive, right? The people that you spend time with. There are people that you could put yourself around, men, who they do not help catapult you or elevate you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, right? And that's okay, because it's not the people's job around you to do that. If you're fortunate and blessed enough to have people around you who are able to do that, then that's a blessing. But I'm talking about the friends and family you have that attempt to pull you down, and they do pull you down sometimes. You have to be able to put they sorry, hating ass on the chopping block, and you gotta be able to off with their heads if you have to. You have to. I don't care if it's your best friend. I don't care if it's your favorite cousin. I don't care if it's your own mother or father. I don't care if it's a homeboy you've had since the first grade and you're 40 years old now. If you have anyone in your inner circle, anyone in your friend group who is, they passively, aggressively hate, they slander you and what you're trying to do, they look down on your growth, they slick hate, but because they don't have the balls to hate on you out loud, they'll do it kind of passively. Like, you know, they'll refer to businesses you have, or like, you know, plans that you're thinking about and you're starting. You know, it's always, how's that little business coming? How's that? You know, they'll make jokes as if they're just joking, but the underlining statement in it is, what you're working on ain't shit. Your business ain't shit. Right? And they do that to belittle you in the hopes that it discourages you or it pulls you away from your vision, your passion, your purpose. Right? So what you have to do as a CEO is you have to ask yourself, let me analyze this particular relationship or this situation, right? Does this person affect my bottom line? As an entrepreneur myself and having a few startups, right? When you're in the startup phase of a business, you have to have the mindset of clarity. You got to have, you have to be completely sure and certain each and every day. You cannot allow doubt to enter your mind, because if you allow doubt to enter your mind and it permanently stays there, you will abort a lot of things that could have been flourished, that could have been successful adventures, right? But because you allowed someone to negatively speak about what you're working on and what you're building around you, to stay around you, you kind of back away from things that could really separate you and make you greater than what you already are, right? And that's the intent of, that's the intent of the closet hater. And a lot of us have them in our circles. If you have them in your circles and you can identify them, friends, family, colleagues, whoever you're close with, if they are not team your LLC, if they're not pro your LLC's vision and mission statement, and so much in a sense to where they actively and passively try to discourage you from being greater in any capacity, they ass gotta fucking go. Off with their heads, to the chopping block they go. So fellas, I'm getting ready to wrap this up because I don't know how many more examples I can give, and I know I'm gonna start rambling off on some other shit that ain't got nothing to do with what the fuck I'm talking about right now. But I want y'all to really, really take this episode to heart. I really want you to do an audit of your life. What women are you dealing with? Or what woman do you have in your life selected to be the one, quote unquote? Is she harming your bottom line, or is she improving your bottom line, right? If the answer is improving, you keep her, you hold on to her, you nurture that, you improve that, you get better, and you protect her at all costs. But if you with a bitch who is not improving your bottom line, she's decreasing your bottom line every day, you're not knowing whether or not you're going to go out of business in the next month, you don't know whether or not you're going to be able to make payroll this week, You don't know how many relationships with clients and vendors that have been fucked up because of their negligence. The bitch gotta go. On the fucking chopping block. I don't care how long you've been with her. I don't care how much you like her or love her. I don't care about how bad she is. I don't care about that throat being deeper than a J. Cole album. I don't care if that ass is fatter than Lizzo. The bitch gotta go. She gotta go. She gots to fucking go. Chopping block. Okay? Because as the CEO of your life, you have to be able to make tough decisions. You got to be able to make tough decisions, and not only make them, but you got to be able to stand on them too. So you don't fold when you get uncomfortable. You don't fold when they come calling the office back or come crawling back to the front office or the door, or they call your number and they say, hey, I learned my lesson, man. Look, I'm going to be a good worker next time. No. I wish you the absolute best. Zero tolerance policy. You failed the weed test. You failed the drug test. Best of luck. Right? This is how you operate from a position of power. You, your purpose, your mission has to be first. Because at the end of the day, you are all you have in this world. So, how can you create a life to where you can excel and be as happy as you can be and be as free as you can be, spirit, soul, mind, body, right? You have to be good and great even. You have to be a mastermind at eliminating as much useless bullshit as you possibly can. Things you deal with in this life should be meaningful, should be purposeful. These should be things that you absolutely, positively, and unequivocally have to deal with. Things you don't have to deal with are things that you spend time on them. You spend a day, you spend 2 days on it, right? And it's something that you could have spent that day or 2 days doing that would have been way more productive, way more conducive to you being happier, healthier, wealthier, right? And you got to make these decisions with no emotion. Because if you're still a simp, your emotions are going to be why you at 45 will be in the exact same spot you were at 35. You will be in the same damn spot at 31 than you were when you were 26. You will be in the same fucking spot, at 55 than you were when you were 40. Because we all have emotions. I'm not telling you to be emotionless. I'm telling you to put yourself, your mission, your passion first. Any friend, any family member, any girlfriend or wife that comes into your life, they have to be within alignment of these things. They have to be in alignment with your business, with your corporation, with your vision, with your mission statement. They have to be in alignment. And if they're not in alignment, it doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean that you never speak to them again, right? But you cannot be close to me in a capacity to where I have to deal with you every day, because you are a hindrance. You are a liability. You are a curse. You are a headache. You are unnecessary bullshit that I have to deal with, that if I didn't have to deal with and I had that time freed up, I can do things I love. I can be more productive. I can be more happy. I can do more things I enjoy doing than dealing with your dusty ass. I'm talking that shit this episode, bro. I got serious. What the fuck? I got serious as hell on that last one, man. But yeah, bro, just learn how to delegate, man. Learn how to audit your life all the time. Be sure to audit everything and everyone in your life. Are they improving your bottom line, or are they making your bottom line fucked up? Do they have you in debt? Do they got you mentally and spiritually deficient and depressed and stressed and insecure and worried? It's okay to have a meeting. You know, it's okay to have a meeting, you know, team meeting. Hey, we need to do a review, see where we are, see where we're going. This is where we are. This is where we need to be. You're in or you're out. It's very simple. There's nothing complicated about it. All right? You could attempt to coach a bitch if you want to. I'm not really a fan of that. I'm not really in the business of coaching a bitch. That was your parents' job to raise you, right? And mold you. I need you to be as close to a top employee as you can possibly be when you attempt to join my organization. Right? You don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. No one listening to this is perfect. However, there is a such thing as a perfect fit, right? Perfect fits do exist. And as a man who's on his purpose and is on his vision and his passion and all of that, right? You need to look for a perfect fit. Don't look for a perfect woman, right? They don't exist. Don't look for a perfect friend. No such thing. Don't look for perfect family. God will never create them. But you need to look for people who perfectly fit into the life you want. People who perfectly fit into the life you currently have and the life and will fit into the life that you're working on and you're currently building. That'll take a lot of stress away. That'll take a lot of pressure off of you. That will put you in a position where you're more suited to deal with life as it comes. All right? So that's it for season 6. I thank you, men and women, so much, man, for listening to my podcast and giving me your ear, right? I know I ramble on sometimes, but I get very passionate about these topics and these subject matters, and I take a lot of time, like writing and, you know, coming up with thoughts. And there's a lot of episodes that I record that I don't put out because it may not be in alignment with what my overall message is with the podcast, right? So I love when you guys, you know, share comments or you post or you like or you know, even if you give me constructive criticism and feedback, I appreciate that as well, because I learn from the critiques. I learn from, you know, Chris, work on your audio, or your voice sounds like this, or, you know, on this episode you talked about this but you could have talked about that. I really genuinely appreciate that, guys. I really do, man. I learn a lot from it. I don't know everything, right? And I'm just sharing my perspective, right? Just giving my opinion on the world as I see it. And I thank you for listening to this, man. If it's on YouTube, if it's on a podcast platform, thank you so much. I'm gonna take a break from content creating for a few months, man. Work on some personal projects I got going on, and I will be back this fall. All right, so thank y'all so much for supporting. Season 7 is on the way by the end of this year, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna keep content coming in over there on that end, but I'm gonna take a little break from podcasting, man. So as always, it's your boy CJ, and I'm out. Peace.